Hey guys, and how's it going? I wanted to make this video because I was looking for someone who had done this and I could not find hardly any sources or any start to finish sources. So anyway, I have an old skid loader that has a terrible belly tank. There, that's it out there. She's seen better days. Anyway, I need a fuel tank for it. The fuel tank is part of the frame on that thing and it can just simply not be recovered. It's too rusty, you can't take it out, clean it. Like that tractor, I was able to, clean and reseal that fuel tank, no big deal. So saying all that is to say is I'm making an auxiliary fuel tank out of this 30 pounds, I think a regular propane tank's 20 pounds. I think this is a 30-pound propane tank. Should hold around 5 or 6 gallons, I think is what I'm understanding. Anyway, nobody has, that I've seen, has created a video start to finish on how to do this. So I got started and then I stopped and figured I would run you all through it, hop in step by step. So the first step is get a propane tank. Found this one at the dump for $0. You got to pull the filler valve out. I don't need to go into that. If you're looking at this video, I assume you can figure out how to take that out. There's a bajillion videos on it. I just had to fight with a big monkey wrench and a huge cheater bar, get that out. Then you fill the whole thing with water, purge any extra propane out. This is a filler neck. I think it was about $13 on Amazon. Steel. It was the only one that I could find that was steel, so I can weld it. It wasn't aluminum. Essentially, I just picked the spot where I wanted her to go and hogged a 2 1/4 inch hole with a hole saw through it, and it just fits just so perfect. It's like just tight enough, so I'll be able to throw a quick bead of weld around it. So that's what I'm working on. And then for the gas, the fuel delivery line, I have these little guys. They're basically the same thing. They're Amazon specials as well. They are weld on 3/8. What I got? 5/16. Guess they receive a 5/16. Or no, I thought it was 3/8. Yeah, it was 3/8. They'll receive a 3/8 MPT. I'm sure you can get them in any sizes. So on the bottom, I'll drill another hole, weld in one of these, and then we'll paint the whole thing red. I have to go to this parts store and get a plug for this. I think it's probably 3/4, maybe even 1 inch plug I need for that. And then we'll have a fuel tank. This is a vented cap, so don't have to worry about any kind of vents. It's your standard, lawnmower, garden tractor kind of thing. Got a big rubber seal in there, so hopefully that works okay. Anyway, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to weld this thing up quick, and I'll bring you back and show you that. There's a bajillion welding videos. I'm pretty terrible at it. So I just ground off the paint and ground off the galvanized coating around this filler neck, and we're going to slap her in, and then we're going to make some feet for this to be able to mount it to the machine over there. So we'll catch up with you in a bit. Figured I'd bring you back quick. Getting ready to weld in the bung. Bung. The female bung, if you will. This is a little Amazon special. I used the Christmas tree bit so I can make it. This thing has a little lip on it, so that lip now will sit perfect in that hole. I'll be able to throw a quick bead of weld around it. Cleaned off that paint, cleaned off this black oxide coating, so it should do a good enough job. We got the filler neck. Don't judge the welds. I do not care as long as it holds liquids. But yeah, it works pretty great. Just give it a good twist and she's locked on there good. And I sent a light up through the other side there and closed this cap off, and I didn't see any light coming out. If I cared that much, I could probably rig up a pressure tester to this 3/4. I don't care. As long as, if this one leaks a little bit, it's not gonna leak. But if it does, who cares? As long as this one doesn't leak. Which, what I have to do, there's a fair amount of, not a fair amount, but too much, in my opinion, metal shavings inside this tank because of all this cutting. So once this is done, I got a little plug to go in there, go to plug it off, fill it full of water, hold it overnight with a pan underneath and make sure this part doesn't leak because this is down at the bottom, and then that'll also help flush out all the metal shavings. Not super worried about the metal shavings, but I always like to run the wicks, which that'll stop anything. I just don't want the tank to rust, so that's why metal shavings are a little bit important. But anyway, that's the update. So I'm going to go ahead and quick weld this thing on, and then I think we're gonna paint it. We don't need to because it's already pretty good, but I think it'll look cooler if it's safety red, you know. I think I got some of that down there somewhere, some red paint. Or I could do, that's construction yellow, make it match the machine, but I think the red, there's the red. I think the red's a little cooler, I guess. And then the last thing, before paint, I gotta make up some kind of feet that I can weld onto the side. Not, this is the bottom. Weld onto the side so it can bolt to the machine. So I got some steel over there. You'll just have to trust me. And that will make little feet. It'll put a little bend in them and kind of bevel so it'll sit right on the tank. Throw a couple welds on this because this old girl is heavy when she's full of fluid. I filled her up with water yesterday and I don't know, she's heavy. So let me get this welded quick and then we'll work on some feet. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking for the feet. This is some pretty thick stuff. I don't know the gauge, sorry. I have a gauge somewhere if we're curious. We can find out quick. Look at that, a little gauge. I got this from a job site a while back. Anyway, there's a gauge. So let's see, this is looking like, yep, right there. Looking like some 10 gauge material. Sorry, this would be horizontal. Some 10 gauge material. I have no ability to bend this by hand without heat, so I'm going to chuck it in the vise and heat it up with the acetylene torch, which you'll just have to trust me is over there. And we'll try to throw a bend in it. This bigger part will mount to the machine. This smaller part will waller out. The profile of the tank. So it'll sit just like that with a nice 90-degree bend in it. And you know, drill and tap into it'll mount on the back brace of the machine. So that's kind of the next step. We got this welded up. I don't think it will leak. This was really easy, way easier to weld than the filler neck because of how thick the bung was. I actually ended up blowing a hole inside the filler neck. That's really thin stuff. So anyway, that's that. And so that's what I'm going to be working on. Careful. All right. Okay. So I'm going to get some feet made up. Kind of wall it out and see what we can do. Get to the profile of this. I'm not really sure how to make the profile of this. I got some bendy rulers. Maybe I can cut a cardboard template to kind of get the gauge to grind this out in a half inch, or just guess. I like to guess a lot, so we might end up doing that. But anyway, let me get these bent up. That'll be a ton of heat and a fair amount of beat to get that, but I think I should be able to get her done. Yeah, just clamp it right like that and bang, bang, bang. After it's all red hot, use up $17 worth of acetylene. No big deal at all. So let me jump on that. Oh, I could throw a pipe wrench or an adjustable on there to kind of ease it. Maybe I don't have to beat it so hard. But we'll see what we get done. I'll bring you back. Okay, well, it was a fight and used up way too much oxyacetylene, but we got a rudimentary 90. Not as sharp as I would like. I would do it different again if I had to, but I don't have to because who cares. Made myself a nice cardboard cutout. Looks pretty tight, good seams, and if it's not exact, that's why God made 6011. Took that. Uh-oh, out of fire. All right, fire's out. Yeah, I took that, traced that over onto this piece here. Fastest way I can figure is to hog it out with an ONA torch and some Miller lattes. So we're gonna get that done quick. If I had any earthly idea how to set these all up in the camera, I would do it. But this, again, is my first video, so you get what you get and you don't get upset, is what I'm saying. I'm gonna slice this out. I already did the other one. It's out in the rain, cooling down, and then we'll bzzz them onto the tank, and we'll recap then. Okay, here's what we got. In case anyone's wondering, I doubt they are, we are burning, focus, 6011 by 3:30 seconds. Why? Because the tiny rod I got, this tank isn't exactly the super thickest. Anyways, that's what we got there. And what I decided to do, it's not too hot to hold, is add just a little bit of this cutoff has a little gusset just to help keep her left-foot forwards and not backwards. Let me do that to both sides. I got the other piece, I don't know where, oh there it is. I got the other one cut out, ready to go. Like so. That actually looks pretty good. I just have to get on the struggle bus to figure out how to make sure those are square with each other, but I think it shouldn't be a problem. I think I'll just clamp a straight bar across those two. Anyway, that's going to be something like that with a similar little gusset scrap piece just to keep her square. I plan on bolting this to the machine with some 3/8 bolts, so this one I drilled some holes on already, so it'll be mounted there. Should give me enough access to get in there with some 3/4 by 3/8 bolts, 2 per side, and I will just, there's a back support. I know the machine's far away, but it's so rainy. Look at all that rain. It's so rainy I'm not walking out there to show you, but there's a brace along the back of the machine that's just a solid chunk of steel, and it'll hold. And the only issue with that is it will be the first thing the machine smacked into if you back it into something, but it actually ends up being okay. I think it's out of the line of sight, and it is high up enough to where you're not going to back into anything. The way the machine is positioned, I think if it's something down low, it's going to hit the counterweight / ram bar first. So we'll find out on all that, but that's where we're at with this. We're going to weld her up quick and see what we got. Here we are. I just got through painting. This is another thing, but skid steer rims, very pricey. So I'm trying to rebuild those. You know, way she goes. Anyway, this is what we got. Roll on bung. Great. Roll on filler neck. Already flash rusting, so we're going to get some paint on here quick. Great. These not exactly the prettiest, but I do believe will hold good. Like I said, pre-drilled for 3/8 bolts, ready to bolt right to the machine. I kind of offset it so they can mount a little cattywampus. That way the fuel is always at the lowest, fuel output is always at the lowest point. So essentially what I'm going to do is give it a quick sanding. Just, I'm not doing a specialty job, but I'm going to hit it with some Super Fire Truck Red Gloss Sunrise. Damn, fancy. Anyway, make it look more like a fuel tank. I toyed with cutting these off, but I kind of like the idea of it looking like an old propane tank. So we're going to leave that. We're going to do zero metal prep, aside from wiping her down with maybe some acetone. I guess it's not zero metal prep. Anyway, and we'll recap when she's sunshine red and basically finished. I mean, I can't really, I suppose I'll probably fill it up with liquid with a plug in here just to test that. I'll leave it like this and just fill it up to there with water maybe overnight and just see if anything drips. Put a little piece of paper towel underneath there. That's really the only one I'm super worried about. I hope, and I don't think I did, but I hope I didn't bust through any of these. So that'll be a test on the machine, because we don't test things, we send it. So I'm going to enjoy yet another Miller Latte and get the painting. Okay, here we are at the machine. This pretty much sums it up. I'm keeping it out of frame for suspense, so you can kind of see some of the red over there. Anyway, I got it all. It's not right. I never said it was going to be right. But this is, look at the sticker, added just that for lulz, as they say. Anyway, got her tilted a little bit. Everything looks nice here. Got our 90 coming out. Fuel pump later line here. The only thing saving the day, look at all this is caught already. This Wix filter, I tell you, I like the clear because you can see what's going on. So, that part number, if that was just 33000, that would be a metal encased one, which maybe is better, but you can't see what's going on. So the 33001 is clear, let you see. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm pretty confident that's all water. So we're gonna have a fight clearing this system out, but I'm lazy and it'll work. Goes down to this Amazon special fuel pumpulator, which then it sends it right to the carburetor. Got this beautiful, I haven't heat shrunk these yet, but I will, electro-digital connection. I'll probably tie that up. Nope, it's gonna stay like that forever. You know it's good because it's got a zip tie. holding the fuel filter in place. But really, all jokes aside, this isn't going to go anywhere. Let me take a step back. Sorry, don't mind the mess. So that's what she's going to look like, all finished. Fuel pump, fuel tank complete. So if you want to do this, I kind of showed you how to do a good job. You can do a better job, but all jokes aside, I am not dissatisfied with the result, seeing as how this is only a $1,000 machine. And oh, I mentioned that you couldn't reuse. This is the fuel tank as part of the frame. Can you guys see in there? I don't know how to turn the light on, but just judging by this, see that? Yeah, that's what's all that rust is. All that is what that whole tank is made out of. And so there's no chance that I could salvage it. So for all of 12 plus 2, sorry, focus you fuck. Focus. 12 plus 2 plus maybe 8 total and a free junkyard propane tank, I now have a relatively mostly clean fuel tank. Just so you see the kind of machine that we're working with. It's a really old skid steer. I got it at the auction for $1,000. Don't mind, it has wheels, I promise. They are just getting tubes put in them at the moment. I fixed a metric fuck pile of hydraulics. So either way, that's it. That's the fuel tank, start to finish. If you want to do it, that's how you do it. Brackets worked out mostly okay. This bolts backwards because there's a hydraulic line right on the other side. I did not measure, so my previous pre-drilled holes were not right, so I had to make some new ones. But I mean, this thing is solid. It is not going anywhere. It's 3/8 bolts, lock washers on the other side. I was gonna drill and tap it, but I got lazy, and that's way faster to just through bolt it. And like I was saying about this sticking out so far, this counterweight comes to there, so anything down low, you're gonna hit the counterweight first. If you bump into this, it's not going anywhere really. So I extended the length of the machine by, I don't know, about 6 inches or so, I'd say. But if I can just push some dirt around my property, I'll be pretty happy with it. And anyway, see ya. Thanks for watching.